Hello, here will be our CSCI 465 for Smart Things Security. And for today, we'll talk about some like including the IoT related like botnets and then the DDoS attack. So including some like concepts. Also, we'll go like some case study. And of course, the last part with the mitigation. So we're going to apply. Okay. So as first part, we talk about the IoT botnet. So and then the DDoS. So what's the definition and then the evolution of like how change the threats in this IoT content. And also we'll look at first part say what is the like supporting attack. If maybe it comes out with some mention about okay, and also what's the attack, and also mainly next part will be the DDoS attack using the IoT devices. Okay, and as you all know, because the device amount right now like increasing rapidly. So compare with the host, okay, some maybe the node server IoT can be one of the good end device and not like using for doing the DDoS. Okay, so there's a way, and there was a mechanism behind for the IoT based DDoS attack. So it will be our idea, and then the last part we were going to do will be the DDoS attack. So for how can we do the mitigating the DDoS attack in our IoT networks? Okay, what are the possible defensive strategy we can like prevent or something like reduce the attack? Like we cannot really say prevent like can be 100%, but how can we reduce the chance of it? And then what kind of possible tool for techniques we can use? Okay, practically like can be used for the security. And also last part we will talk about something like strategy, but that one we will like for your reference. If you're interested, like use for your project, then you are feel free like to follow and use it. Okay, and for the botnet, so it will be called the collection of device. They will compromised by the malware and control remotely. Slightly we call back to the cybersecurity. So if in cybersecurity, like we did like in a chapter, like we spent 2 to 3 weeks like to talk about different type of malware, right? So for the botnet, we say those are malware we can different type, maybe something like Trojans, okay, the red, okay, maybe some like toolkit. Okay, they're all possible, can be used. And then because the botnet, so we can use the everyday IoT devices, no matter the cameras, routers, smartphone, some widgets, anything. Okay, to get okay. So we can use it as called the zombies in the botnet. The reason we call it zombie because they have no like zombie, they're just like doing something naturally. Okay, perform certain task. Okay, so nothing is thinking. So they will follow the malware's instruction. And this device says they often have a really weak or default password. So that's what we always mention a bit about this, or something patch the software. Like so always because the vulnerability involved, it makes them be an easy target for the attacker. So here's the reason and why we can use it. And when we try to perform the DDoS to like for the distributed denial of service, so that one when we study like DOS or DDoS, so the target, the aims is always try to flip the target with the traffic and always like render it, make it always available to the legitimate user. Like we try to occupy all the resources. Okay, so here's the idea. And then for the IoT related based DDoS attack, so they can like launch using the networks of the compromised IoT devices, maybe over maybe million. So you see the idea, and they try to like doing the flipping, like targeting the like server using the HTTP address request, or sometimes keep sending the UDP package or something like DNS queries. So all these like try to occupy all your bandwidth. Okay, maybe cause your device like overload. So it's like pretty good because all these requests, it doesn't really need strong or really high processing power. So that's why like IoT devices is maybe a good target to become a zombie device like to help us to do the DDoS attack, and also because the decentralized nature of this like attack, so it makes them like really hard to block or trace back to the source. So here's like one of the key points like why IoT devices is a good device they're using for doing the DDoS attack. Okay, and what's the unique vulnerability? Like, what's the reason? Because one thing is like we always like mentioned in our previous lecture, but we try to address is convenience rather than security. But they want to have a easy adoption, like easy to connect. Okay, so set up. So sometimes because when they consider as the user of maybe they're not really professional, but they need to install it. So a manufacturer, okay, when they try to produce a device, they would try to make an easy adoption. But when they make it easier for adopt, that means lower security. Okay, and there's a lots of examples of the IoT devices, including like webcam, smart speaker, thermostat, all this, or even router itself can be. And weakness, we always say is that always the default credentials, like or some outdated firmware, and then encrypted communication make all these methods ideal for bottleneck. So that's why we one part we talk about the communication, why we need to implement TLS SSL, so all this. For the sometimes if you check the platform, they're using the HTTP protocol like to create a platform. That's all this makes your IoT device or the smart things that export your security. And so far, right now is the latest kind of in this moment, the threat landscape when we look at for the global explosion of the IoT devices. So in 2023, so there are over like 15 billion of IoT devices like globally. Okay, prediction kind of like this number will double by 2030. Okay, so in 2030, that will say only 30 billion. So imagine even just 1 billion IoT device like doing the DDoS in the same time simultaneously. For sure, like your maybe your server, API server, wherever. Okay, so they will over maybe the resources or we totally occupy. Okay, so you will like occupy our bandwidth and take over all resources. Then you maybe cost like your service down. Okay, so all this maybe integrate to the home business or some like infrastructure. So all this will be like increase the potential attack surface. So here's the things we need to pay attention. As what we say, like something always like talk about for the bottleneck, one of the really common vulnerability, including default credentials, we say come with a default username, password, what we say, and then the unpatched firmware. So because they always like fail to release timely update or something, they're outdated when they release some new device, especially those like phase out or some old device, they are not connected to the internet or the user, they never update their firmware. So it's easy to living device exposed to attack. Okay. And also they also have a lack of authentication. So it's easy to access like from the network or certain function. That means they will never like validate, especially from the like server side or API server HTTP request. But maybe they're not really like validate. Okay, check their authentication. So it's easy to connect and remote control our device. Okay. And the propagation of the botnets of only they will create through the malware. So they will scan the internet for the device and looking for the vulnerability, sometimes with password or like some unpatched vulnerability. So that's what we can do. So they can pretend and just imagine if you have a firmware update one. So if I have a backdoor, okay, or I have an API, I can update. So I can perform some remote update or like upgrade your firmware, and you can change and then export yours. Then it's possible. Let's say I change your camera and then I start sending an update patch to this camera webcam, and then after the camera like download the firmware and do the automatically update, so it will export the backend URL access. So all this. So after they being infected, So they become the zombies. Okay, so they can control remotely the bot master. So right here, and sometimes you never know. When we study cyber security, for the sometimes with the bot master, sometimes it can be shift, or because of decentralization, you never know which one is the master of the bot. Okay, sometimes it can be switched, so it's really hard to tell. Okay, and the Maria the bottom one is like we say is the most well unknown, so we like always I mention this one. So it's it discovered in 2016, almost like 9 years ago. So but it's like about the vulnerability in the IoT device, including the cameras and so the routers. Okay, so they will try to the malware written, they will scan the IoT device with the default credentials, sometimes with admin password, and admin or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, like this. So and then try to infect them to form the botnet. Okay, and pretty easy. And sometimes when they open for the port, like port 80, like for SSH 222, so it's so easy to doing like this one. And how does it really work? So it's just really simple. Okay, so even all these malware, sometimes it looks really simple, but they can be really effective and powerful. But they just need to like really using some effective scanning techniques. Okay, to find the vulnerable devices. Okay, so once they being infected, then they can send the instruction from like centralized command and control server. We call it C2. Okay, command and central control server. If you study the malware analysis, actually there's a lab I did showing you. Okay, so for dynamic analysis, so once you execute some file export, so it will connect to a server. Once you send certain command to it, it can like export or execute certain commands. Okay, so you can command, then they will perform certain action. So all those like infected devices, okay, they can be participate in some massive DDoS attack against some target service. So let's say I can create a file, so inject this from the C2 server. I can create the maybe as well. No, maybe I can create code Python script. Okay, or some binary executable files, and then just really simple. Okay, just ping or sending the request DNS whatever this request to the server. So really simple, straightforward. Okay, but it's easy, but it can cause a really massive DDoS attack. Okay, and the D1 and DOS attack is another one. So it would be like responsible for a large scale DOS on the die. So it's major DNS provider. So it's one thing. So this attack over the 600,000 of the IoT device. So it can like cause really like well spread of the internet outage. Usually like if a 6,000 in IoT device can cause the internet outage and disrupt the major website, like including the Twitter, Reddit, Spotify, others. So imagine if like when we get more and more outdated or like low security IoT device. Okay, right now like 2023, 15 billions. Maybe nowadays, maybe I say 20 billion. Okay, so if you even when I just say 6,000, if I just say 1 million, so we can destroy any website actually so easily. And those attack you 100 because within 1 second, if you are there's 1 million requests sent to your server, no matter like how powerful is your computer, so you cannot like the performance like cannot be working well. So the service will be totally like crash and die. Okay, so this one will be highlighting the security default in the IoT devices. And finally, it turns out what the consequence, because it make it available to several hours, and of course, affect the business, also the user. Okay, so it's pretty sure for the DNS, because what we say is a domain name server, so it will redirect all those like the domain name to the IP address. That means I cannot access, and since I cannot access to those domain, maybe some correlated or like no matter maybe related, not related, like from the redirecting from other third party is possible, they will lose their service. Okay, so it will potentially showing like how this like IoT ecosystem is like what's the vulnerability, also what's the potential. We can put it really easy to cause a large scale disruption using compromised device, you see. So this is important. Of course, when we study, part of it is a manufacturer. Okay, they need to increase that priority. And then next part, like as a user developer, like for us for simulation, okay, maybe always like try as a first step, try to change your default password or user name. So it can be the like first step we can prevent, okay. And then when you set up your router, just like always try to use the HTTPS, is using the TLS SSL script for communication, okay. So in transit data, so it will increase. Okay, so all this sometimes like regulatory like oversight or some standards of the IoT device, okay. And how this, like we always say, the attacker like always can scan the network. So we start from first one. So I start from WAN or others. So most of the target, including device with the default password, right? With this always say some weak security control or this. And sometimes they can just use sometimes open source malware to infect all these device. So it's easy to apply, and actually sometimes they, as well as say, like simple but effective, okay. And how can like launch the DDoS attack? So they can so once they infect the one device, so they start to like send the request to the target in a coordinated fashion. Okay, so the one we doing the DDoS is called, we call the flood attack. So those will be overwhelm the server. So with some excessive traffic, so actually prefer DNS amplification. So all this, and when you hear the term amplification right here, attack, so we extend, so they will try to like exploit some certain protocol to amplify the volume of the traffic sent to a target. So especially using like DNS or NTP, okay, that the time protocol, okay, so also will be possible network transfer protocol or these like amplification, so it can increase the volume of traffic, so it's target. And I would say we mentioned about the DDoS attack, right? So including, so mainly we have three types right here. So it's the first part, volume based. Volume based, we try to like fuck the network with the traffic. So maybe the UDP, ICMP. Okay, so they're possible, or sometimes with the protocol. Okay, so protocol in with the like so to exhaust the server resources. Okay, the volume is targeting the network traffic, and then the protocol will be the server resources, as a synchronized or a DNS. Okay, and the next will be the application layer attack. So they will target on some specific service or the application. So maybe the HTTP. So application layer, if you remember the 7 layers, so on the top application layer, it was sending the HTTP request, try to also exhaust the server resources. So it's possible. Okay. So when here we say move on to the DDoS attack, like kind of like IoT based, right? So always is we'll start with the step one. Okay, so how can I compromise the IoT device? They will always scan it. Okay, looking for like say, using the default credentials or some like open port. Sometimes by default like open port 22. Okay, for SSH like HTTP 8 or 80 or something like HTTPS like 443 or maybe other port for remote. Okay, you never know. But once they found it, so they will try to infect the device and get them control. So because when they try, okay, and then they will start the called the C2, the command and control communication. Okay, those devices will contact the C2 server for attack instruction. So they always like try to, after they access it, maybe they will start with the ping. They will try to see if they're able to connect to their C2 server. Okay, so sometimes without the internet connection, then it will stop. Okay, but if they can detect it, then they start to access it. Sometimes you can see the URL contain like the favicon or whatever to pretend the link. Okay, and after they able to start the connection, then they will maybe create the script or like the primary file to execute and connect to the server. They with certain port. Okay, they will be receiving the the command. Okay, so we receive the instruction. So this is how the behind structure doing. So they can instruct the botnet to initialize the attack on specific target. They can do it in this way. Okay, and then move on, like after in step 3, then they will try to do the attack execution. So they start to sending a large volume traffic to the target, because they are not really care about like your device, your network. So starting in this moment, during the execution, you will see your maybe the CPU, your network like goes up to 100%. Okay, maybe your own internet, if your device like webcams, thermostat, or those like devices network speaker, okay, they are being in fact they're becoming zombie, and then they keep sending. So you will see your home internet like occupied like 100%. You lost all your bandwidth, okay. And then they will try to keep on continuous to attack the target. So until it's like really overwhelmed, and then cause your service like disrupted. Okay. And most of the time when the target, like you see the server or service like reach their maximum capacity, so it become like available to other users. So sometimes maybe hours, some days, really depends on the scales of the attack. And also when they need to fix it, it may cost several days. Okay, so it's how this attack. So here's a example right here. They're using it. So they will try to scan the device, as we say, that with password, and then looking for if there's some webcam DVR. Okay, so you know the DVR is like for the device using for the video recording, like for the webcam. Okay, maybe the router may be possible, and then they will create from the botnet. Okay, so in fact we create a massive botnet so they can be controlled by the attacker, and then they will try to launch the attack. So they will using the UDP, HTTP or DNS amplification like to do an attack and then cause the service disruption. Okay, so they will overwhelm incoming traffic. Okay, downtime, slow down. So all this will be the result. Okay, and kind of just recap always. How can we prevent? Always easiest way and straightforward. Change the default credential password. Okay, and always try to looking for the latest security patch and update, right? And it may be really hard to say, okay, it's really old device, I couldn't update anymore. So unluckily, so we can use other measures like maybe using the security like communication, or like protect your router, like try to be careful, maybe create some isolated network subnet. So maybe the device like handling. So try to disable some like unnecessary service. Like if you but for this you require advanced level, to how to close those open ports. Okay, or try to implement certain strong authentication. Right now nowadays, lots of device application they require you to have the two-factor authentication. Okay, sending a passcode one time passcode like this. Okay, so it may enhance the security. And so far for the DDoS mitigation techniques, actually in our previous slide when I showed like Nginx, so here would be the part of it. So one thing is about rate limitation. Like we try to limit the rate, so we can limit the amount of traffic of our device or IP address sending given time period. So it can lower down. Okay, if there's a request sending from a specific IP, okay, within a short time, sometimes we just like limit it. Okay, we are more prepared. And also like we can do some traffic filtering. So try to use the firewall, okay, IDS or IPS, or some like DDoS protection service like Acamia. So it can use to filter the malicious traffic. Okay, it can help. And also doing the anomaly detection. So we can use nowadays we can use the machine learning. Sometimes they apply AI or like statistical analysis to detect if there's a traffic spike or some unusual behavior. So it may be potentially DDoS, then we can stop it. So it will be nowadays I study maybe more like using AI to doing maybe some research too. Also, we can try to put some like collaborative defense. So including the ISP, the internet service provider, cloud providers, some company. So they can work together, share the attack information. They can block the malicious traffic in upstream. Okay, that's that. Or sometimes some globally distributed DDoS protection network also can help. the mitigate the attack before they really reach to the target. So, but of course, in this level, will be not the end user, but we need to learn right here. And mainly, you will see the key defense technology we're going to use, of course, a firewall and try to use the DDoS type protection. So maybe the next gen firewall, okay, nowadays, so we can use it to, let's say, the outbound, inbound to block the traffic from the known malicious IPs. Also, we can maybe have some dedicated DDoS protection applicant, like some abroad network or to detect or mitigate DDoS in real time. So they're all possible. We can use apply in our strategy, and also the CDN. In the CDN, it's called the content delivery network. So it can help like to absorb or distribute the traffic, like reduce the impact of the DDoS attack of the origin server. If you remember in our system design, okay, so in system design, I did mention it's not a main course, but I mentioned a little bit like how can you distribute your content, okay, make your content like deliver available. So this one can also reduce the impact. Okay, so it's like it's a plan. Also, as well as we have the standards, of course, like when the IoT devices, smart things, that goes up like right now, like more than 15 billion devices. So it will have some law or like IoT security improvement act, okay, requires stronger security, okay, or some like security foundation, IoTSF, also given a standards for the IoT security including device authentication, secure communication, and patching. So it would be better and given a stronger security like protection once we have, okay. And then of course, in more advanced level for mitigation instead, we need to have some behavioral analysis and monitoring. We try to analyze some like traffic patterns. So we try to detect some anomalous behavior, typically for the DDoS attack, or some maybe some behavioral based detection, so we can block the malicious request. So before they really overrun the system, so we can like stop it. And as what we mentioned is using the machine learning. So it's one of the direction they're working. So we think they're going to predict, okay, after training the model, how we can predict or identify the potential attack. Okay, so before they really cause the issue, so maybe from the like past traffic patterns and normalize, and we know, okay, it potentially will cause the DOS, as maybe we can like kick off the like protection of like rate limitation, or maybe some possible strategy we can use to doing the protection, like based on what we did. Also the collaborative, as we say, globally that defends the network. Okay, they share. So before they keep sending the DDoS attack from sending out from your home device to another server, or from server to your device. And then before they send out through different nodes, if you try to like trace route, from your home internet goes out, it actually goes to different nodes. So within all these nodes, if they can all those participate for the defense network, if they share, so they can like share about those emerging threats. They don't know, okay, they may be some they can share those like DDoS signatures, then they can block it within like sending out. So they won't really actually before they really hit the target or really reach out to their target device server, then they will already block the content. So it will just thinking because that's why I say when we try to do the trace values, we go to other nodes. So if we have 1 million device sending the request to a target, and then when they nail down, actually it not only affect the target device, but also all the connected nodes also will slow down, okay, because the overwhelming, because in the middle, are you using the math, let's say, okay, so the coastal node right next to a target maybe half, right, okay, maybe half of it request, and then goes down to half, so it will cause the problem, okay. And right here, I'm talking about the possible some like tools we can use. Of course, like we can use the Calvary. So, recommended if you want to use the Calvary tool, like if you are using easy tool, you can like work with Calvary, and then we can use the Wireshark, okay, to monitor the traffic. And later, because in the lab, I'm telling you later, you can implement for sending the habit, right? Okay, or sometimes you can check your you can send in your CPU or resources usage to the server, so you can monitor. Or sometimes we can simulate the KD Linux to simulate the attack. So that's in the later, so we will try to like do something pretty fun. So if you can set up all this, like get ready, then we can set up the local server and then try to doing the attack and use the Wireshark to observe the attack. Okay, and mainly is like what kind of rules and possible. I try to show you how to do that later in the lab if we have spread out something. But mainly in your project, you need to involve like or given the situation, how can you doing the protection, and then you try to analyze the result and effectiveness. Okay, and trying to know how can we compromise the process of those like IoT devices, and then using it in the botnet. Once you know, then you can like implement a better way. Like how can we do a detection mitigation on the DDoS and attacks, and then how actual real world like defense mechanism, like how can we do a traffic filtering and anomaly detection, so it's possible. And so far quickly, as the end of this this part of lecture, so we talk about the botnet and also the DDoS attack. So it's one of the significant attacks nowadays for the interconnect world, and also the mainly weakness, the default credentials, and then the outdated password is all the deep reasons. And also we need to implement some like proactive DDoS mitigation strategy, so can like protect against it. Okay, collaboration in our level we had to tell it, but like hopefully for the company, organization, even industry, so they can try to protect it. Okay, so they try to like increase the security. So all this, if you have something interested, then maybe you can think about what the possible challenge facing to securing your IoT device, maybe like this, or any specific DDoS defense tool. I think you maybe consider or using to protect it. So it's okay to talk about it. Okay, and that's it for this lecture, and hope you enjoy your spring break. And also just be ready, just kindly let you know we have a couple of short course. Okay, I will let it online after the spring break. Okay, so you can prepare. So maybe from week 1 to week 8 will be including this part, and then you can prepare for it. Okay, multiple choice or multiple choice, and I can say that nothing really like challenging. Okay, and with time limit. Okay, you have a week to finish it after the spring break. Okay, thank you.